A man named Johnny Blaze sells his soul to the devil to save his father. He becomes the devil's bounty hunter that turns into a fiery skeleton that attacks the devil's enemies. The movie starts with a man named Barton Blaze with his son Johnny Blaze. They perform a stunt in a circus and people applaud them. Johnny sees his girlfriend named Roxy. He tries to do more tricks for her and he almost falls due to a stone in the way. He goes to his dad and Barton scolds him for it. They are seen fixing their bikes. Barton is still scolding Johnny and he starts coughing. He picks up a cigarette and starts smoking. Johnny steals the rest of the pack and places it in the dustbin. He asks his father if he could ride a bike called Grace. His dad says no and Roxy comes inside. Johnny and Roxy are seen under a tree carving their initials on the tree. Roxy tells Johnny that her father is taking her to work in the city and Johnny agrees to run with. Johnny goes home and sees his father sleeping. He puts another pack of cigarette in the bin and sees a hospital letter. It says that his father has cancer and it had reached stage 3. Johnny goes to fix his bike. An old man comes in and tells Johnny to sell his soul in exchange for his father's health. Johnny is skeptical but decides to try it since he is curious. He takes the contract from the devil and opens it. The paper cuts his hand and blood falls from it to the signing area. The devil takes back the contract using the blood as a signature. His eyes glow and Johnny wakes up the following day. His father comes in and tells Johnny that he is as healthy as a horse. Johnny is relieved as he tells his dad that he was leaving. His father gets angry for a while and later gives Grace the bike to him. Barton is about to perform a stunt. The devil comes in and takes Barton's life. Johnny hears this and rushes to see his father die. He sees the devil and it disappears. Johnny takes his bike and rides it to Roxy. He sees the devil on the way and falls with his bike. The devil tells him to forget about family and friends and gives him the power of the Ghost Rider. Johnny rides and sees Roxy. He rides away leaving her by the tree. Some years later, Johnny is seen about to jump 15 trucks in a park with spectators watching. He rides his bike and jumps the trucks. His bike hits the ground and he crushes to the floor. His team headed by a guy named Mark run to him. Johnny wakes up and asks if his bike was okay. They help him up and the fans cheer for him. The team is seen in a truck. They see on the television that Johnny plans to jump over more trucks next time. Mark gets angry and complains to Johnny. Mark says that an angel is protecting Johnny. Johnny looks at the window and his face changes as the thunder strikes in the sky. Blackheart, the son of the devil, comes to Earth. He goes into a bar and kills everyone. He catches the waiter hiding and kills her. He summons fallen angels that have the forms of elementals and they come. They are the elementals of sand, water, and air. Blackheart says that he needs their help in conquering the earth, city by city. The devil comes and calls out to Blackheart. Blackheart says that his father doesn't have any power over him since he part of the fallen angels. The devil tells Blackheart that he may not have the power but his rider does. Johnny is seen on the stunt. He rejects all interviews but hears a familiar voice. It turns out to be Roxy, who is now a reporter. Johnny grants Roxy an interview and she leaves saying that she had always been scared whenever she watches his stunts. Roxy leaves with her cameraman. Johnny tells Mark that he had taken out the trucks and Mark is relieved. Relief is cut short when helicopters replace the trucks. Without the knowledge of Mark, Johnny rides the bike and jumps over the helicopters. He closes his eyes midway and lands safely. Mark is fired up that Johnny was able to make it and Johnny gifts his helmet to a kid. Johnny rides outside and catches up to Roxy. He asks her to park the car but she refuses. Johnny parks in front of their car and they stop. Roxy comes out, complaining about Johnny risking his life, and Johnny kisses her. She gives him the time and place for them to have a date and Johnny gets happy. Roxy is seen in the restaurant. Johnny is seen preparing for the date. Blackheart goes to the old cemetery to ask of an item named the Contract of San Venganza. The man there says he knows nothing about it and Blackheart kills him. Johnny sees his hands getting red and washes them. He hears Grace the bike starting outside. He goes and sees the devil and tells it to stay away from him. The devil says that it is too late and activates the power of the Ghost Rider. Grace starts moving really fast and takes Johnny away. The heat coming from Grace explodes the car mirrors around it. It throws Johnny to the ground. Johnny's eyes starts to release smoke as he begins to transform. The transformation takes time as Johnny is seen in pain. The Ghost Rider and Blackheart comes to him. The air elemental pushes Johnny and hangs him on a chain, killing him in the process. Blackheart is shocked as the Ghost Rider awakens. Ghost Rider takes the chain and goes for Blackheart. The water elemental traps Ghost Rider and the sand elemental uses a truck to hit him. The sand elemental comes out, Ghost Rider punches him. The rider ties the sand man using his chains and begins to burn him. The sand man turns into stone and dies. The rest of the team run leaving the rider. Ghost Rider calls Grace and transforms her into her rider form. Ghost Rider sees an armed robber trying to steal from a female. He and uses the penance stare and burns the robber's soul. The rider gets to a graveyard. He wakes up in a room and starts to drink water. He sees a man and the man tells him about the deal with the devil. He begins to explain to the Johnny that the rider is the devil's bounty hunter and that every generation has one. He further explains that Blackheart will use his family and friends against him. The man explains that Blackheart is after a contract named San Venganza. He says that it will make him more powerful on Earth. Johnny leaves and goes to Roxy. It turns out that the tire of the Ghost Rider destroyed the road. Roxy ignores Johnny and leaves. Johnny takes a bath at his house and he reads some books. He recites some incantation and fire comes from his hand. Roxy comes in, the fire goes out. She apologizes to Johnny and kisses him. Johnny explains how he sold his soul to the devil. And Roxy gets mad for Johnny trying to deceive her. She leaves and the police come to take Johnny. They say that they saw his number plate lying at the crime scene. They ask if he killed the man at the old cemetery. Johnny says no and they take him to the cell. The rider inside Johnny reacts whenever an evil person is around it. The prisoner in the cells are all armed robbers and rapists. The robbers start to beat him up. A black kid is hit away for trying to help Johnny. Fire explodes and Johnny has finally transformed into the rider. He takes a jacket from one of the robbers and points to the black kid. The rider melts the metal bars and leaves to kill Blackheart. Watch the next part of this video on my channel. Like, comment, share and subscribe for more videos.